What's good, everybody? This is According to Ale, and my story time today, it's not funny, but my story time today is gonna be about when I almost killed my girl by accident. Seriously, it was an accident. But before I get into my story time, okay, hang on, hang with me. Before I get into my story time, I am okay. So last episode, so that was what, episode 5. I had my girl Sam. If you have not seen it, check it out. And she asked me what my pet peeve was, and I froze. I'm like, damn, what's my pet peeve? And her pet peeve, like, you feel me? Yeah, she talked about her pet peeve, all that stuff, and I'm like, damn, what's my pet peeve? And I don't know why it was bothering me so bad. And then it just clicked in my noggin. I'm like, I know what my pet peeve is. My pet peeve is being ignored. I hate that shit. I hate being ignored. That is my pet peeve. Or when I text someone, for example, if I text somebody like, "Hey, I'm going to like, hey, are you going to dinner?" Yada yada, right? And that person reads it, doesn't say anything. And then I see them, I'm like, "Why didn't you text me back?" And they'll be like, "Oh, well, I'm not going to dinner. I didn't plan on going to dinner." Then say that. Anyways, that is my pet peeve. I hate being ignored. Don't do it. Or if we're arguing, don't ignore me. Or just tell me, hey, I'm not feeling it right now. Can you just give me space? I'll come back to you. 2 seconds of your life to communicate. So, anyways, that's my pet peeve. I just had to share. I thought that was important to share. Anyways, back to the regular scheduled program. Okay, so that's that. And then I'm gonna get into my weekend. I had a dope ass weekend. Shout out my mom. Happy birthday to my mom. I love you. Sorry, there's like a little pelo in there. Anyway, sorry. I'm like, people probably think I'm crazy. There's like a little, like a little pelo. Anyways, pelo's a hair, by the way. Anyways, so I celebrated my mom's 50th. That was dope. I was back at home. And my favorite thing about going home sometimes, like with these big, crazy, like family gatherings, right? Because my mom had a big ass party. It was so cool. Honestly, no shade, but like turned out better than what I thought it was gonna be, honestly. Like it was lit. All the tias, tios, friends, everybody showed up for my mom. So shout out them. And all right, tell me if you guys feel this way. But I feel like growing up, there's always like the the certain family friends or families that sometimes, as you were growing up, they'd be like, they call me Alex. That's another thing you can learn about me. My family calls me Alex. So they'll be like, like, little, you can tell like they're side eyeing me, judging me. Cause I was a crazy ass kid. I'm not gonna lie. I can't blame, I guess, my family for doing the side eye or the tias doing the side eye. And I love it because at my mom's party, they're all like, "What do you do now? What are you doing? What are you doing?" And I purposely post all my stuff on a certain platform for my family. I don't want to say which one, for my family to see, and they're seeing me doing all these, dope things and like my life and how, and how I think I'm doing pretty good. I graduated, and I'm working towards my career, doing all these things. And I love it because I finally got to see a lot of them for the first time in forever. And they hit me with the, "So, how are you doing? What are you doing? I see your Facebook." And it's just so, oh, it just touches my soul when I tell them everything I'm doing right in life. And they were judging me. And it's like, damn, I'm doing better than, I'm not even, damn it, some of my family watches, but you know what I'm saying? Like, so for those that were judging, yeah, doing great. But it's a lot of the family that I haven't seen in a long time. Nobody close to me, don't worry. But it's a lot of family that we're distant. And when they see me, they want to hear what I'm doing. And I'm doing great. So it was just like a good feeling. And I don't know if you guys have dealt with that, but yeah, so it was nice. My mom's party boosted me up a little bit, It's like, all right, I'm proud of myself, make my mom proud. So, anyways. Oh, and then another thing, speaking about my hometown, which is kind of, it's the Bay, it's in the Bay, so it's San Mateo, and San Mateo's in the Bay. And if you don't know that, then now you know. And another pet peeve, a new pet peeve, actually, bringing it back to the first topic. My new pet peeve is when the guys from your hometown swipe up on, because I feel like, now I feel like put myself together more. You feel me? I take more pictures, whatever. Now they're sliding up in the DMs, right? And they're trying to like get at me. And I'm just not interested. I feel like, I know what I like now, what I'm interested in now. And at the same time, some of you guys used to talk so much shit about me back in the day. And now you're in my DMs. Fuck out of here. I'm not doing that. But anyways, that's what's happening now is all the guys that used to be so mean to me or talk shit about me are now in the DMs or on the Snapchats. And one of them, which I was never interested in to begin with, even back then, he slid up on my Snapchat and he was like, just trying to get at, I can't even remember specifically what he said, but he's just trying to get at me, whatever. And I go, and like, I just left him on red because I just want nothing to do with that person, Like we haven't talked in all these years. You used to like clown on me a little bit. I'm good, I'm good. I'm on this whole different level now where I'm like, I'm good. And, leaving you on red should be the hint. You feel me? That should be the hint. For the men that are watching, if a woman leaves you on red, take the damn hint. Just take it the first time. What is so hard? Like, there's men talking to themselves in my DMs. Like, honestly, it's scary. If I have a son, I'm going to show him, don't do that shit. Because that is horrifying. Just stop talking to yourselves. Anyways, like, it's okay, shoot your shot. That's cool. You never know. You might shoot and you make it, you feel me? But if a woman does like leave you on red, just take it for what it is and it's okay. But anyway, so this guy from my hometown, he decided to message me again because, I didn't respond again. I'm not interested and I'm good off that, And he goes, damn, you think you're better now because of who you are and what you do in Arizona, da 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 da. And what if I am? And what if I am better than you, sir? What if I don't want you anymore in the bullshit from you back in the, what if I don't want it? Like, it's okay. It's okay. Anyways. Damn, I feel like I'm ranting. I'm not even podcasting. I'm ranting. This is a rant episode. But anyways, I was like, you know what? Let me let those little things out before I get to the real tea, the real spiel. And you know what? Yeah, I think I'm gonna just hop into my story time. So that was my weekend. Shout out Bay Area. Yeah. Okay. And also too with my story time, before I do get into it, I'm gonna let you guys know now in advance, okay? It wasn't funny then. Me and the girl laugh about it now. She 100% said yes on telling the story. I'm also gonna FaceTime her so you guys know. It was a big life lesson. And I'm glad that her and I can laugh about it now. It's something that we look back at and we're like, oh my God, that was crazy. I mean, she never ever did not like me because of it. If anything, she was like, are you okay? She was so like worried about me because of how distraught I was over her. Like, I love this girl. She's so sweet. She's from Richmond, California. This is all back at home. Damn, back at home is just dangerous. Just stuff's always happening to me. Anyways, yeah, so anyways, I'm gonna get into it and I am gonna put her on FaceTime just so you guys know it is for realsies, all right? Anyways, no BS on this podcast. Everything is authentic and real. So I'm gonna get into it. So this happened, I'm gonna say a couple years ago before I moved to Arizona. And again, it was with my ex, the one who was there for the ear story, which was episode 1. If you have not heard the ear story, go check it out. But anyways, that same ex, right? So, and this was towards like the end of our relationship. I remember that, like towards the end, he asked me, he's like, hey, do you want to go to Sacramento and ride Can-Ams? And for those who don't know what Can-Ams are, it's like okay, so obviously you guys know the ATVs, right? And the ATVs are like, the 2-seat or, no, it's 1 seat. But I think 2 people could, anyways, whatever. A lot of people know what ATVs are. But Can-Ams are like the 4, it's like, the 2 seats in the front, 2 seats in the back, and it has like a bar over it. So if you flip, you're chilling. Oh, and there's a seatbelt that crosses over you. So if you flip, you're safe, right? So let's keep that part in mind. That's important. So anyways, yeah, we're in the, that's what this story is about. So we go to Sacramento, and it's a group of us. It's like me, my ex, like his homeboy, and just a couple people that they invited and their friend Karina. And I'm only using her name because she said yes. So anyway, we get to Sacramento, the place that has like all the Can-Ams to rent, all this stuff, whatever. And I did not realize homegirl was drinking a lot. I guess she had a couple shots, a couple drinks. I was not paying attention because I'm in my own little world, all excited about, oh my God. And my friend Stephanie was there. I keep forgetting. Dude, Steph is a part of everything too. That's my other best friend back at home. Yeah, she was there too. Damn, we deal with a lot together. Anyways, so like, yeah, me, Steph, Karina, just a bunch of people, right? And my ex. Anyways, we go riding. We're having a good time. We're riding around like the little hills, mountains, whatever, cool. And like, I'll never forget. There's a point in time where like, all right, lunchtime, let's just chill. It's like a little stream. Everyone's like eating lunch. We're all hanging out, chilling, whatever. And Karina, right? I wasn't really paying much attention to her throughout our little trip because we were there for like, I believe a couple hours. We were chilling for a minute. And I remember seeing Karina get into one of my ex's friends' Can-Ams, okay? And she's just driving by herself, just going in little circles, because there's like a little area, it was a big piece of land, and she was just going in circles in the Can-Am by herself. And I'm like, all right, cool. You drive it like a car. It looks easy, right? And she looked fine, okay? So she's driving around. And she was like, Ale, get in the car, drive. And I'm like, no, I'm a little scared, I'm like, I've never driven a Can-Am before. And she was like, just get in, and like, again, I didn't realize she was drinking a little bit. So I'm like, okay, she peer pressured me a little bit. It was like a fun peer pressure, not a bad peer pressure, okay? So anyways, I listened, but I'm the one who listened, right? So I listen and I get in the driver's seat. The first thing I do is put my seatbelt on, right? Because Can-Ams are prone to flip. So I put my seatbelt on, and actually, no, I'm gonna save that for after. So anyways, I put my seatbelt on, and we start going. So it's me and Karina, she's sitting next to me, and we start driving in circles. And then she's like, go faster. And I'm like, I'm like, no, I'm scared. She's like, just go faster. Me pendeja, I listen. I listen. So I start to go a little faster, right? And just a little faster. And I didn't see a pothole. I guess there was a pothole in the ground. So as I turn, I do the wide turn, the wheel gets stuck in the pothole. Oh my God. It's not funny now. Well, it wasn't funny that I can laugh now. But get stuck and the Can-Am flips, okay? And when it flips, picture is like when it flips on my side. So I'm the one facing the ground while the rest of the car is facing the sky, if that makes sense. So I'm like, turned to the side. But also when we flipped too, for me it was fun. I was like, oh shit, it was fun. I had a good time. I was like, oh my God, that's cool. Cause like I feel safe, And as I fall to the side, all of a sudden, okay, I see Karina's, and remember, I'm still on the side. I see Karina's body whoosh, fall right next to me. Remember, I'm on the ground. My side of the car is on the floor. So that means homegirl that's sitting closer to the sky, if that makes sense, her whole body leaves her chair, falls like down to my side. And my smile left my face real quick because I'm like, holy shit, this girl just like, her whole body literally just body slammed onto the ground. And it's bars, okay? So she's hitting the straight ground. And I start panicking and I'm like, Karina, and I start tapping. I'm like, Karina, and I keep like I even grabbed her arm, and all of a sudden, like, I started seeing her turn purple. And that's when I really started to panic because this girl was purple. And I don't know if you know how like in movies when like someone like passes away, like they grab their arm and they do the you know what I'm saying? Like their arm just flops like a dead frog. You feel me? So I'm like, holy shit. Like I did the oh my gosh, because I'm grabbing this girl's arm and it just you know? So I'm like, my soul just leaves my body. And I started screaming like, help, help. Cause everybody, sorry, I wasn't very clear. Everybody was like in the little area eating. It was not far, but some kind of far a little bit, not too much, enough where everyone can see everything. So all of a sudden I see my ex and a bunch of people run, literally run to us and help drag her out of the car. And I got out of the car too. And you know, and I know I've already said this on episode one. I used to work at a hospital and I was first aid uh, certified and all that stuff. So I know the basics like CPR, all that stuff. And I checked everything. I checked her pulse everywhere, everywhere you can check. I put my, I did it all. I hit all the bases and nothing. Nothing. And I'm on top of her and everyone's like surrounding me. And I hear my ex like, what did you do? What did you do? And I'm like, I'm ready to go to heaven right now, sir. Because he just kept like, everyone kept freaking out, which understood obviously. But I'm like, I'm panicking. I'm freaked out. My soul, I felt like I was ready to pass out myself because I was like, there's no way. And the fact that I couldn't feel her pulse. I couldn't feel anything. Heart, pulse, nothing. Even listening to see if any air came out from her nose or breathing, nothing. And if your heart isn't beating and obviously like you're not breathing, nothing, you're dead, Like if there's nothing, you're a goner. So I truly, 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 truly believe that I don't want to use the word she died for a second, but that heart wasn't pumping, you know what I'm saying? So she probably, I mean, I don't know. And someone can like come correct me, but it literally, I feel like she really did die for like a minute or a couple seconds, seriously. So me, I start my chest compressions, I just went in, started my chest compressions, like, and and I was like crying and I was like, God, I believe in God. And I was like praying to God, like, God, please, like something, and I remember um I started to cry and I was just talking to God, like to myself. And all I hear is like and all of a sudden I just hear her breath and I'm saying I put my hand on her heart and like I see her finally gasping for air, even though it was hard for her to breathe. I don't care. I'm like, you know what? She's breathing. And now my next fears are, is she internally bleeding? Does she have a spinal injury? You know what I'm saying? So now a million things are racing because, and also too, she's barely breathing, barely gasping for air. So this girl can, unfortunately, let's say, pass away in an ambulance. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm thinking of everything. So I'm still praying to God and like, um, and I remember the people called the ambulance, like my ex and like his friends, they called the ambulance, and I remember stepping away for a second. Like I literally stepped away and I was just like crying and like literally just kept praying to God, praying to my grandmother that passed away. Like I was just praying to everybody at this point. I was like, dude, please make sure this girl's okay because she can, you know, croak in the ambulance. So I'm like, holy shit. And I was ready to like take the blame. I was ready to go to jail, like, because I remember I had like a white claw. So I'm like, oh my god, I had a white claw. I'm all stressed. And I wasn't even drinking like that either, like at that trip. But you can get in trouble for anything. And also too, I did not tell this girl to put her seatbelt on. Hello, ding ding ding, you know what I'm saying? But automatically, and it doesn't make it right. And that's my lesson, is always make sure people have their seatbelts on, always check in on the person next to you because you never know. And obviously from then on out I've learned, but um that was so horrifying. And yeah, and I could probably get in trouble for being the one driving and she didn't have her seatbelt on. So I was ready just to be like, take me, lock me up. Like I was ready to just suffer the consequences. And I felt so horrible. Um, you know, I wouldn't be able to live with myself. So it was hard. And I remember like one of the friends coming back and he was like, yeah, she's gonna get into the ambulance, da 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 da. And I remember like freaking out. I was like, dude, like, let me like, I just wanted to make sure she was okay. I was like, let me go like to the hospital. Like, and everyone's like, no, stay here and just chill. She's gonna be okay. But I just felt so terrible. And sorry, I'm trying to remember what happened next. Oh, so yeah, so I remember that. And I think one of them, which I'm like, y'all are crazy. And I don't condone this part. This part I didn't know about. Remember, I'm in my own little bubble. I'm in my own little world. I'm not paying attention. So I remember also one of them telling me like, hey, we told the ambulance and the police or whoever was there, that she drove herself. And I'm like, I'm like, oh my God. Like, how terrible if something happened to this girl and then you guys lied. And I didn't ask them to lie for me. I didn't ask anybody to cover for me. No, I was ready, sir. Take me. Like, seriously. So I was just a wreck. But anyways, an hour goes by and the hospital said they'll call us. And I remember me, my friend Stephanie, we all hop in the car and I'm just hysterically crying in the car. We get to the hospital and I see Karina in a wheelchair, the nurse wheeling her on. The nurse starts laughing. And I'm over here like, why are you laughing? I'm like, why are you laughing? And the nurse goes, man, this girl was so intoxicated. She was blacked out the whole time. I still don't understand that part to this day. I still don't understand, I guess. But I know I believe she got a concussion. I'm gonna FaceTime her literally right now. But I just remember the nurse saying something around the lines of like, yeah, we checked her alcohol levels and I guess it was super high, like blacked out high and like all this stuff. And I guess that actually, I believe that is what also saved her life. There we go. That's what it was. That's what also saved her life was because she was so drunk when she landed. When you're drunk, why do you think, okay, and this is a little lesson, I guess, why do you think a lot of the times drunk drivers survive? Because they're so loose when they hit somebody else that they don't tense up. Like, but if you're sober, you tense up. Your muscles tense up, you tense up. So I guess when she fell and hurt herself, her muscles didn't tense up. So that also helped her chances of being alive. Thank the Lord of alcohol, I guess, for that time. I don't know if that sounds bad. Don't drink and drive. But anyways, yeah. So like that whole thing was just bananas, okay? Bananas. Anyways, yeah, so the nurse was like, she's fine, we're good, everything was good. She got in the car, she was loopy and not feeling well, and let's just give her a call. But yeah, so that was my story time where literally I thought I almost killed somebody. So let's give this girl a little call, shall we? Shall we? Shall we? Shall we? The woman of the hour, the woman I you know, FaceTime Karina now. Hopefully she answers this time. Hey girl, can you see me? Can you hear me? I can see you. Okay, just so I can show the people. Hold on, let me. Karina, can you see my people? Yes, I can see. Hey. Just so you guys know, she is the one who told me to tell the story. We're good. We're good. Okay. So now that you're on, oh wait, let me screen record too, just to make it more. Okay. But yeah, so what do you remember when you were leaving the hospital? I'll start off with leaving the hospital.
Wait, so am I starting from the beginning or from hospital?
I want to know what you remember leaving the hospital. I'm just curious.
Well, the first thing I remember is I woke up from the hospital and I was like, okay, where am I? What happened? And the nurses were super, super nonchalant. They're like, you're fine. You just had a little bit too much to drink.
Yeah.
And so I was like, oh, okay, cool. Where's my phone? Like, how do I get out of here? You didn't come in with a phone. So I'm like freaking out. I don't know any of like your guys' numbers off the top of my head, especially not after I bumped my head. So I called my sister. That's the only person whose number I knew by heart.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't remember exactly how it happened, but that's how we got connected. So like, yeah, you're good to go as soon as someone's here. So as soon as I got my sister and you guys talking, you guys were like, oh, we're outside already. Like,
Yeah.
we're here, we're here, we're here. They're like, okay, it's time for you to go. Pack your stuff. They put me in a wheelchair. They rolled me out. You guys were all right there. And the first thing I remember is seeing you and Stephanie like jump out of the car.
Yeah.
And I was still so confused because I was like, where the fuck are we? I didn't know what hospital we were at.
Yeah.
And you guys were like all just happy that I was alive. And I was like, I don't even know what happened.
So you don't.
And then
Yeah. Sorry. No, continue.
the first thing I remember is we got into Domingo's big ass truck, and I was like, how the fuck am I gonna get in here? And I remember he just like threw me in there.
Oh my God.
And then the whole car ride home, because it was like a 2 hour drive home, I was just like in and out. I was just like this, like fucking like bobbing my head, like trying to stay awake. You guys were trying to make me stay awake, I think.
I was, yes. I was like
Yeah, you guys
freaking
didn't want
out.
to go back to sleep. I was like in the hospital gown and everything.
Oh my God.
And then I remember just going home, and I remember my car was parked at Marco's house. So you and Stephanie drove, it was literally around the corner, but you guys drove my car around the corner to my house. And my sister, my poor sister was there. She's like 3 years younger than me, too.
Yes, your sister was younger. Uh-huh.
She was just right there. And then I just laid on the couch for like probably the next like 30 something hours until my parents were in Vegas. It was my mom's birthday. My mom was living her best life, and I didn't want to tell her. She was gonna get worried, I was gonna ruin her birthday
Oh
trip.
shit. Uh-huh.
So my sister called my cousin. My cousin ended up coming, and she was like looking through all my paperwork from the first hospital. I don't even know, like,
Yeah.
I was just dead. I didn't even get up to use the bathroom. Like I
Jeez.
literally laid there for like 30 something hours. So she finally took me to the emergency room here at home. She took me to the Kaiser in Richmond. And they were like, still to this day, no one can say anything is wrong with me. But to this day, like I still have like a pain right here on the side of my head. It
Stop.
doesn't.
You still have a pain on the side of your head? Oh hell no. I'm going to
The
hell.
only way I can describe it, because it's not. I don't know how to explain it. I don't know how. I've gone to like 3 different neurologists. No one can tell me what's wrong with me. It feels like a bruise. You know how when you like press a bruise and it like kind of like feels good to press it?
Yeah.
That's what it feels like. But a bruise isn't constantly hurting you, so it doesn't
Yeah.
hurt me. I don't know how to explain it. So
Well,
yeah, so they took me to Kaiser the next day, and I couldn't stop throwing up. I had like super bad nausea.
you were throwing up? Oh my God, I'm going to hell. Uh-huh. Why did I not know
I
that?
couldn't stop throwing up. I think I threw up for like a whole week. Yeah. And I don't know, Mexicans say, I don't know if you've ever heard this saying, but everyone kept saying que me trae el susto. So they were telling me to like eat bread to absorb the scare.
Good old.
That's what they said it was, and people were making me like different teas and stuff like that. None of it worked. They did give me like an anti-nausea medication at the hospital, and it did work. I finally stopped throwing up, but I lost like a good 20 pounds after that.
You know what? At least, I don't know what to say. I can't even believe that. Good thing you didn't tell me because I couldn't sleep.
After the fact, like more memories came up. Like we were talking the other day, and I told you I have like a vague memory of you like performing CPR on me.
So when I finally revived you, you remember me on top of you because I was on top of you, literally like, I was all crying.
I remember you like crying and you like pressing on my chest. But it's like a very faint memory. And then I have a very faint memory of me getting put into like the gurney stretcher thing to go into the ambulance.
Yeah.
And I just remember you trying to come with me in the back of the ambulance, and they were telling you like that you couldn't come.
Honestly, girl, I feel like, how do I explain it? I feel like the reason why that part gives me a blank about the ambulance is I don't remember that, and I remember them being like, we told the ambulance she drove by herself. Like I remember them like covering for me, but they told that I did not lie. I was not trying. I was ready to be like, take me, just get me in trouble. Like I felt so terrible, and I feel like I was just so like my brain was just so scared that and sorry that I keep bringing you close to my chest. I just want to make sure the mic can hear you, but I just remember like being so afraid that I really feel like my brain at some point went blank because I was just so scared. Like literally, I've never been so scared. Like
from what other people have told me, I've only heard stories from other people. Like Marco told me that he was like slapping me, like slapping the shit out of me.
Girl, there was moments where I went blank. I was just freaking out. I don't even remember that. I didn't remember that. I was like, she better live. She better live. Like I was just so scared. I can't believe he slapped you.
The last thing, I have zero memory of the accident. I don't even remember when we switched seats. The last thing I remember is that I was driving and I told you to get in.
You told me to drive, girl. I was driving, and when I drive, your body flew across for me.
I have zero memory of that.
Holy Jesus. Yeah,
I
girl.
have memories too of being at the hospital. Like, I remember they were asking me a whole bunch of questions, like trying to keep me awake. They were like, oh, what's your favorite color? How many siblings do you have? How old are you? Where do you go to school? Where do you work? Like, stuff like that.
Yeah.
If I had any allergies. And then I remember it's like a movie scene, like when they're rolling through the hospital, you're just going through all the doors and like all the lights.
Yes. Oh my God.
But also too, I feel like I have fake memories because, and I think people put shit in my head. Like, my dad was telling the whole world, and I don't know where the fuck he got this information from, because he was in Vegas with my mom. He was telling the whole world that I got airlifted in a helicopter.
Your dad with some people got airlifted in helicopters.
Yeah,
Crazy.
my dad was telling everybody that I was in a helicopter.
You know what? Latinos like to keep it juicy, girl. Let them spread that cheese, man.
Yeah, so that's how rumors start. But yeah, no, and we can laugh about it now, but big lesson learned on my part. Always wear seatbelt or wear a helmet.
Seatbelt, helmet, yes. And next time I will make sure that the person next to me has their seatbelt on. So and I'm also screen recording this, but just so the people know, seatbelt. Yeah, we're good. I was like, yeah, that was crazy.
Great story. We can laugh about it now, and it's no bad blood. Me and Alif still friends.
Still friends. We're still friends, but thank you so much for sharing your portion. And yes, I'm glad we can laugh about it now. I'm so glad that we can,
Yes, all lessons learned. Take it from us.
Literally, all lessons learned, good memes, good times. But thanks, girl, for tuning in.
Bye. Can't wait to see us later.
Yes. Bye, everybody. But anyways, you heard it from your girl. If anything, things that I didn't even know, now that I know. It's crazy. But anywho, that is my story time about when I almost killed Miss Karina. Thank God she's alive. And yeah, so tune in for next episode. You know, God knows what else I'm gonna talk about. I feel like my life is just bananas. But anyways, yeah, stay tuned.